Hello. How you doing, YouTube? It's Andrew again, stuntman, actor, performer, coach, high performance coach, and all that jib jab dab dibby dab dab, and new YouTube content creator. So welcome. Thank you for joining the channel. And this channel is focused on positivity, mental focus, mental motivation of all types, and yeah, just like social awareness, and also why you should build a YouTube channel. And I'm going to do this every single day, and we're going to see how many subscribers I get and how many, everything. I'll do a whole analytical breakdown and everything. Okay, so today we're going to focus on the reason A, why we got to start a YouTube channel, and B, what are some ideas we could use to start a YouTube channel. So I want you to look real deep, okay, and look, you don't have to look too deep. If you follow the topics of like publicity stunts or pranks, we're going to focus on that today. And what I mean by that is you want to do this with like a little bit of caution. You don't want to do this swinging to one side of the pendulum, because if you want to keep it entertaining enough for the people, and then also maybe if it's informative enough to get value and content out of, right? So one thing, if you're going to go and start this YouTube channel, make the choice. Are you going to be an entertainer, or are you going to be a coach, life coach, teacher kind of thing? You know what I mean? What type of value do you want to be? And if you're going to do both, then just kind of be mindful of like the audience and who they are. Like in the past, I'd mentioned I'm a very gregarious, bubbly personality, but here in this platform, I try to have more of a conservative, professional, corporate type of delivery, just so that way it's not too overblown and overstrong for a lot of people. Okay, so publicity stunts and pranks. And why do you need this when you start a business? So treating YouTube like a business is very important. And let's say, for instance, I open up a brand that was about making soap bubbles. Okay, I have a gun that makes bubbles, like shoots out soap bubble suds, right? With that brand, what I want to do is, instead of just trying to create like a store or a campaign where it's just like, yeah, I sell these products now, come buy it, and it's kind of boring, you want to start thinking about like publicity stunts and campaigns that work with that in a positive, enlightening way, right? So great example is publicity stunt. This is kind of on the spot, so I'm going to tell you. Okay, so if you have the gun, you're like around a group of people, and like, say for instance, there have to be a group of friends or whatever, and like you're playing a game, you win in the game or whatever, right? You could just, they don't even know you have it on, you can just bust it out, bam, and start raining bubbles, and people love that like element of surprise, and that element of surprise helps a lot in that situation. Say for instance, you're playing like a video game, you're playing with a bunch of kids or families or whatever, you're playing a board game, and you win for the team, or you win for your friends or the family members, and you bust out that soap side bubble gun. You start blasting in the air with all the bubbles going everywhere. All the kids are going to freak out, have a wonderful time, and that's going to be a memory. And that right there is like drives happiness and positivity into a family environment, and parents flock towards that. As a high performance coach, I can tell you that parents pay good money to make sure that their athletes are well taken care of, right? So that's the thing. You want to think about like maybe a fun little prank or a fun little stunt like that. Start filming on YouTube. You have to get started right away. If you don't get started right away, it's just, this time is going to go past. And if you don't stay consistent, the algorithm's not going to pick you up. Remember, I made that whole tutorial on how the algorithm looks and how it works. And the algorithm is a straight line from point A to point B. So if you stagnate or detract or detour or whatever, that line's not going to be direct to your audience or direct to your suggestive feeds or YouTube suggested viewers or whatever the campaign you're trying to go for, right? So in order to keep that consistent, you have to make sure your YouTube channel is started. And with that now, especially in 2025, there's a small creators campaign growing, and I don't know how long this is going to go. So that's why I'm going to talk about YouTube. I'm just going to talk about a little bit about life. I'm just going to talk about like ways of just pointers on how you could like improve yourself. And if you have a business, or if you don't have a business, start a business, and ways to like kind of get a campaign going for yourself. 100%. The small creators are starting to grow, and it's in the beginning, like say for instance, it's just like the gym theory, right? In the beginning, like once this 2025 hit and YouTube dropped this news back in like December, I saw all these creators start dropping information in campaigns, and I'm starting to realize that like 100%, this is 100% of people are going to start. After 3 months, 92% are going to linger and kind of make their way through whatever little variables they could, or completions they could, or life will hit them, or things will happen. I'm going to try and find a way each day to try and like at least come out with a long form and like 4 to 10 small shorts, all on the theories and topics of motivation, consistency, and using the algorithm in YouTube as your platform to showcase and let people hear your voice and share the knowledge. You know, this platform, I've shared a lot of knowledge so far, and I could share a lot more. So with that said, after 3 months, 92% of people out of that 100% that started in January, after 3 months, 92% of people quit. So now your competition goes down after that 3 months to the 8% that are still remaining. Okay, so I'm just talking to you about from the creators' numbers. Okay, 0.2%. 0.2% make it to the end of the year on a consistent basis, believing in the dream, believing in the cause, posting, firing away, using YouTube as a source. I no longer post on any other social medias. I might do a light post here and there on any other social media, but now I'm fully committed onto YouTube because I know YouTube, anything that is circulated around this campaign, YouTube is going to push for, and they want to make sure that all of us are pushing each other to try and start this campaign. Okay, so let's get into some stuff. Look up tutorials on algorithms and talk about it. Okay, talk about the algorithms. Understand how it works. Understand how it works. I did have a tutorial earlier, or not a tutorial, but it was an image I showed. I explained how the connections through the algorithm works. The consistency is important. Don't vlog. If you vlog, it's not going to work. People don't really care about vlogs, and if you do get high views on vlogs, there's really no turn back value. The biggest values right now is coming out is 2 things, and that's the long form videos. So if you do videos about 15 to 20 minutes long, you have to do about 4,000 hours for that campaign. You need 1,000 subscribers for that to start getting monetized and building that campaign and letting it happen. If you're doing it through the shorts campaign, you need 10 million views within through 96 days, and you need 1,000 subscribers, right? So that's the requirement. So I'm doing both. And, you know, a lot of people are telling me that, hey, you shouldn't do both. You should just either do shorts or you do the longs. But to be honest with you, they're both the same topic. It's me still as my individuality. But one thing I did learn is when you're doing these things, stay to your topic. Like, a lot of people really love my journey through film and the processes I go through, but at the same time in YouTube, that's not what people come for. Right now, people are coming to figure out how to make money, how to find avenues of making money, how to start a campaign, what do I need for a campaign, how to start a business. These things are important right now, and that's why people are like scrambling to figure out answers. So I would say, honestly, start with the business. You don't have to do any kind of incorporate and all this stuff and da-da-da-da. That's too much. Start small. Start small. Nobody knows about the business. If your name is if your business of that soap sud gun, bubble making gun was bubble pop, then go with it. You start bubble pop, whether it's copyrighted or not. Bubble pop. Make it. See if it's go on Google and make sure it's not taken. The word's not taken. And if it's not taken, or you think of a really original idea, you're gold. You lock out all the platforms with that name, and you just start your campaign from there. And then I would say just go on YouTube and start like hustling on YouTube. Show people you're ready to do this. Show people what you're about. Show people the things you're doing. I would personally show you guys like what my life is on set, and I would do these kind of videos on set, but a lot of times, 90% of the times, I cannot do that on set. That is a big no-no. I will get fired, and it just wouldn't look good or be good for anybody else. Okay, look up tutorials on that algorithm. Okay, YouTube has it. This is something I want everybody to understand. Okay, this is a game design theory. This isn't YouTube, and all these apps and everything you're using is created by game designers and programmers and coders. Okay, and when you start creating an algorithm that is infinite and requires certain stipulations to catch on to, you could create endless loop. Right. But there's a way to get to that endless loop. And the only way to get to that endless loop, it's complicated. See, the thing is, I went to school for game design engineering, and I've worked on games still. I still have a couple mobile games I'm going to be releasing soon. But I'm going to tell you this. when money's involved with this kind of like tech and science, especially through a force of ads and revenue, with YouTube's gone to the point with all the other apps that we're looking at. YouTube's gone to the point where they have an endless budget for ads. They haven't, let me say that again. They have an endless budget for ads. There is no limit to the budget of their ads. So they are looking for anybody that could dish out knowledge, create a good campaign, just create something solid and informative, right? Sorry, I've got to, I did some work earlier and I think I kind of like stretched out my ab a little bit. So, yeah, it's all right though. You know, you got to make it through the next day. Okay. So YouTube has an endless ad budget, endless, like there is no limit. So try to imagine you had a good campaign and you're like, hey, you know what? I'm starting to see 100,000 views on my stuff. I'm starting to see X, Y, and Z. Guess what? You're in the money now. You're rolling. Like you don't really have to rely on your job. But if you're doing YouTube, stay with your job. Don't quit your job. Stay with your job. And even if you are making money off YouTube, the ad revenue each month isn't consistently the same because the amount of people that view ads are going to be different, right? Because people would skip the ads, or you know what I mean, the amount of views per month and all that stuff. You got to take all those things into consideration. All of this is a numbers game. When you flick on the light switch and the light bulb turns on the light, that current of information and energy has to travel from like the flick to all the way to the light activeness. So with that said, you have to understand that you have to be a little bit patient. So with me, I've noticed I've come out with a couple of videos and they were kind of longer form, and you know, I was kind of reluctant to come out with them, and I felt like I might have been a little bit too open or vulnerable on those videos. But to be honest with you, they're actually starting to do pretty well now. They've only been online for a couple days. Now, pretty well in my world is like 110 views. I'm happy with that. But like I said, I'm a nobody right now, and I'm just starting from scratch, and I'm starting with the topic of YouTube and the topic of money and ways to like approach it, and the mental health that we deal with in this economy and why we're in this deep mental health state, the motivation we need, right? So, this is really important, right? So to complete that idea about YouTube has an endless budget. So if you know the strategy and you stay consistent, you will eventually get monetized. And when you get monetized, that's when you could start being the creative you want to be. But first, right now, follow the rhythm, ride the algorithm, try to get onto the algorithm. That's the most important thing. Once you're on this infinite train of loopage around the world, then you could start like creating unique, different videos and showing your true side and your entertaining side through other different either channels on your YouTube or other different video playlists that we have listed. The video playlist, you got to take advantage of that. Okay, so if you have different topics of your idea, then you could organize it and really make it look well categorized and properly put together in its playlist categories, and people would appreciate that too, especially if they're fans. They don't like, if a fan comes to a YouTube page and you've got a bunch of jumbled like categories, but they're all under the same topic, it's gonna be very hard to keep track of that and understand where the first part 1 might be and where part 2 might be. But if you have a playlist, you could structure all those videos together. So say for instance, I have a page that does electronics reviews, so I would have a playlist that would only be cell phones strictly, and then another playlist that's strictly laptops, another playlist that's games and game consoles, and another playlist that would be like other miscellaneous electronics like drones, TVs, projectors, etc. Okay, so that's how you want to start thinking about the YouTube. Also, this is another thing, don't have all your channels on one email. If something happens to your email and it's compromised, all those channels are compromised. So if you can, try to create an email for every new channel that you have. It's okay to have multiple playlists that are different with within each channel, but make sure that you have that categorization, that organization. So when people like fall onto your video and they enjoy watching it, they'll watch the next video because it's the automatically following play in your playlist, right? So that's why the playlist is important. You want to keep on top of a good playlist. You want to create a great playlist, and that's going to help you through these dark times. And those down times of when you're like stagnant with no views. You have to stay consistent. You have to stay on topic. And you have to always, I really stress, talk about YouTube all the time. Every video, I'm just going to talk about YouTube now. I will give you some pointers on just like life, or maybe I'll give you some pointers on just like money and stuff. but stay on topic of YouTube, and I'm telling you, it's gonna go places. It's gonna take you places. And if you could talk about relative topics as well, like, YouTube would love you for that. Okay. So today I was on set and I was doing a little bit of special skills. I was an Earth soldier, just doing my thing on a particular show. I was a soldier on a particular show. So anyway, I was hanging out with the BG because I'm the type of dude, I mean, if I'm doing stunts or if I'm doing any kind of thing, acting or whatever, I don't really like to just be in my own little bubble. You know, I'm a people person, and I'm for the people. I really love the people. Honestly, I'm a huge believer in imagination and creativity. And the reason why I say that is because if somebody didn't have an imagination to write a script or write a novel or write a comic book or write a thriller of some sort, none of us would have work. We wouldn't, and none of us would be able to be videotaping or video recording right now. I know, videotaping, but you have to really think about that. I believe in the human imagination. The human imagination has given us all work. It's given us all opportunities. The human imagination has given us cars and given us phones and given us everything we have in this life. So that's why I really love and appreciate a person's drive and their imagination when they complete a project, because then that gives individuals like myself, dream creators and world builders, a chance to take your vision and build it. That's why I love hearing the stories and experiencing other people's journeys and what they have to go through. And it just fascinates me, because for the longest time, I thought I was the only one going through this. And, you know, maybe it was just a me thing. And then the more that I talk to people, especially on this set with a lot of foreign people, it was like being at home. You know, everybody spoke the same language as me, but not all of them were orphans like me. So most of them weren't. Asian people are very like tight in their community. All right. So there I am with the BG, and we're having a good time. And you know what? As they're spilling their beans about their life and their goals and their dreams, and some of them are new and some of them are old, but I'm starting to notice between all of them, it's like they lack confidence. And, you know, like, when you're working on a project like YouTube, sometimes it can be discouraging going right into serious topics or getting into coaching or teaching or into something that I'm doing right now where you're doing a raw live feed. But one thing I could tell you is confidence is a very important thing. You need that in life. You need it to succeed. And with these BG people, I saw that they didn't have that confidence. So I told one of them, they wanted to be a voice actor. He was like 60 plus. He didn't want to show his face on camera anymore. So I said, hey man, you've got 1 week. All you got to do is just find a cartoon clip on YouTube, download it, delete the audio, and you... Oh shit, sorry guys. Whoopsie daisies. And you fill in that audio yourself. You fill in that audio yourself with all those character-like voices that are in the cartoon. So, like, we looked up a Popeye's video, and he started doing Popeye and the other girl and the other guy, and it was really good. Then when we got into, like, oh, what was it? I can't remember the name of the show now. He-Man. And he was doing Skeletor. He was doing the voice of Skeletor and the voice of He-Man. And when he started doing that, it was gold. He was entertaining people. He was making everybody in the group laugh, and everybody was so entertained and thrilled and blown away by that, you know, and that could have been a YouTube video right there. So I'm starting to realize I'm going to start documenting that, you know, as I'm like helping out these newer performers. Then another performer reached out to me, and she's like, I'm so brand new. I don't know if I'm going to make it, this and that. And she's really attractive for like this 40-year-old Filipino auntie. She's gorgeous, but like she has no confidence. So that's why I said, yo, I got a challenge for you. What I want you to do is I want you to just start taking photos of yourself and putting it online. And just saying, hey, what a beautiful day. And that's it. Just simple. I want you to do it for 5 days straight. Okay? She's like, she was up for that, actually. So that was pretty simple of a goal for her. Then there was another girl, a Japanese girl, and I saw, and she was like, man, I really want to get into I really want to get on Shogun. And I'm like, yo, there's so many ways. You're Japanese. You could get into Shogun, but she's brand new to film. So I point her in the direction of like what the Shogun people are expecting. The Shogun people are expecting acting, really good acting. You they're expecting you to be Japanese, of course. They're expecting a lot of other things too. They're expecting you to know how to ride a horse, maybe possibly shoot a bow and arrow, maybe use a katana, things like that. Even though the women didn't really do much of that, the bow and arrow they did, the horseback riding they did. They were kinyuichi, so they more had a naganato. So it was like the staff with the long blade at the end, you know. So I was telling her, like, get a video for the next 5 days. Take a video, make a video of you acting, make a video of you doing some katana work, make a video of you doing some naganato work, make a video of you riding a horse, make a video of you trying out Japanese garbs and formal wear, and then put it all together into a minute reel, and then just start sending it out to production. She'll get on production so quick. I'm telling you, so quickly. I'm excited to see how she does. So my goal to all of them was, they had to create a reel every single day. It doesn't have to be a long reel. It could be like 10 to 20 seconds every single day, for 5 days straight for 1 week. And either if it's an acting thing, it's got to be different variables of characters or different attributes of skills that are required for certain film sets. Or if it was like voice acting, it would be different types of animated series, from manga. I mean, from anime to comic book superhero to like dark gore animated thrillers, all the different variables. Once I told them all that, and they started understanding and it started resonating, they started getting the confidence to do it. And once you start seeing the confidence in these people, you realize that they're really excited about it, right? So now they're excited about doing YouTube. Now they're excited about posting their demo reel on YouTube. And that's what I showed them. I'm like, hey, I started from poverty, nothing. I had a BlackBerry torch that, like, I was doing some street performing, some busking. I was Spider-Man, and I'd break dance, and I'd do a couple backflips, take photos with kids. I'd make these printout certificates. I'd sign them. I'd give them to the kids. The parents would love it. But like, I'd save up just enough, and it was just like, it was, anyway, I don't know where I was going at with that. But anyway, it was all about starting from raw and starting from nothing. And finally, that's right, I built up $570 to buy the BlackBerry torch that I was at the time. So when I was busking my tail off. People were just giving me quarter tips, nickel tips, 10-cent tips, dollar here. Maybe if I did a backflip, I'd do it for $10, $5 if I'm lucky. So to save that $750 plus pay rent, plus have food, like, as a performer, that was a lot, right? So, the second I got that BlackBerry, I made my demo reel on my phone. You look at the very first reel I have, it is garbage. It's probably 480p now, but it got me my first gig. It got me on commercials. I worked for Coors Light, Moosehead. I've worked for Lego. I've worked for Star Wars. I've worked for so many commercials in the past. And if I didn't get started with that YouTube channel and I didn't show those BG people today to inspire them, they wouldn't have gotten started either. Okay. So that was the steps I told them for any kind of work to do. Steps on how to start a small business, a small company, and promote on YouTube using publicity, stunts, or pranks. Call in advance. So if you're thinking about starting these businesses or companies, so say for instance, you want to do a Princess Bride company and you want to be Cinderella. You look like Cinderella. You want to do the Cinderella gag. You want to go around and be just your own solo act rather than working for a corporation. This is what you do. You do a couple of headshots. You create your page. It could be a landing page of any sort. It could be social media. It could be, ideally, you want it to be an email and a website. Okay. It could be a single page website. It doesn't have to be fancy. You want to be able to collect emails on that single page website. You want to collect those emails, okay? That's important for newsletters and updates, any kind of promotions or sales. Next, you want to call all major companies. So you're a princess, you're Cinderella, you call up all the companies that involve little girls. So like ballet companies, dance lessons, cheerleading areas, anything involving girls. Like you can even go to a farm. Like, girls love riding horses and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? You want to think about like what little girls love doing and how you could promote that. Then you're gonna actually do a publicity stunt. Okay, so this is how you're going to start building your YouTube. You're going to show in your YouTube, hi, I'm Janice. I could play Cinderella, and then you'll transform yourself into Cinderella. Then you'll be like, also, now that I'm Cinderella, I do parties for $300 a drop, or $500 for a corporate event, or $1,500 for the day. Whatever it is your rates are, then you start talking about that on your YouTube or your social. When you're done that, you'll go and you'll call up like all these places I told you before. So like public schools, libraries, anywhere that has kids. And then you're going to tell them, hey, I do Cinderella, but I want to come over and I want to promote some stuff for free. Ask if you get their permission, what area you could stay in, where you could circulate with, what are the busy hours like. Before you know it, you have yourself a little campaign. Before you go to that place, I want you to take a photo of yourself with all that information on it. I'm using Cinderella as an example and kids, but try to place this in any other category in any other type of business. So you're going to go to that location with a laminated giant piece of Bristol board, and it's going to have some photos of your campaign and prices and wages with a QR code on it that has a direct link to your booking page, right? So once as you do that, you're going to have that stood up and you're going to start doing your act. Your Cinderella, maybe if you start singing softly and sensually to the crowd, just attracting the kids with your melodic type of approach. That instantly brings parents in. Parents ask, oh, what's this about? What's going on? You could do it, treat it like street performing. Do it like you're putting on a theatrical show. Once you're done that, I'm telling you, especially for women, you do something like this. You keep your dignity. You don't have to do OnlyFans. You'll keep your dignity. People will respect you if you do stuff like this rather than showing your stuff, right? So like, and guys, people will respect you too if you do something like this. Not Cinderella. I did it as Spider-Man. Straight up, I did this as Spider-Man in so many cities, and I survived in those cities. Okay, so this is the thing that works. So once you're there, you're going to perform for free. You're going to go to their location that you called them up and all this, da-da-da-da. You're going there. You're going to give them a free 1-hour show. Okay? And you're going to come there with a stack of papers, single coloring page, okay, of Cinderella's image that the girls could color in, the kids could color in. Okay, you'll come with the page and it's going to be your Cinderella autograph form. You have to do this. Okay, so you're going to have your poster. This is simple. A poster. It can be a fold-out poster, whatever you want, but I would say laminated because you might be outdoors and it may rain. Okay, so laminate it, have the QR code there, show what you're about with a couple photos and your campaign, and then you perform. And when people come up, you just show them the link, and then it links to everything you're about. Okay, and people will book, people will call. You know, people will admire that. The difference between like being a street performer and being a corporate entertainer, what I noticed was the way you carry yourself and how your outfit and how your presentation is. With that said, a street performer would work 8 hours of the day busting their tail just to make like, what, $60 in coins? Depending on the location, you can make like $600 in coins, but depending on location. Or if you're a corporate stand, you're good. Don't charge on the spot because then there has to be a transaction fee. There has to be taxes you have to pay. Then who knows what the city bylaws are. Don't do that. Just go there on a volunteer basis. Give away those autographs. Take photos with the kids. Do everything you can to promote your campaign. You do that, and I'm telling you, you will book. Your social media will blow up. Your whole entire like value as a human being will change. Okay, so do that. Whatever you specialize in, whether you're a pianist, whether you're a theatrical opera singer, whether, you know what I mean, you break dance, whatever it is in the artistic field that you do. Even if you rap, if I was a rapper, I'll be calling up high schools and offering free concerts during the high school parties. High school like dances and stuff. That's the time to do it. If you're a DJ, start DJing. Go to a beach with your setup and DJ for free and bring the crowd. But like find a way to charge people. So what I do is if I was DJing, I'd have like a gimmick. So like the gimmicks work. Okay, so Daft Punk, the robotic head helmets, There's a reason for that. Dead mouse, that mouse helmet, there's a reason for that. Sick kick with the scorpion mix mask thing, there's a reason for that. And the reason why is because you can make that marketable. And there's no face to it, right? People can hate a face, but they can't hate an image. They'll love an image forever. I mean, they can't hate an image. I'm wrong. But anyway, what I'm getting at is, if you have a symbol, then you could do whatever you want. You can make it into stickers. You can put it on a mug. You can put it on t-shirts. You can do whatever you want. When people see that it's a quote-unquote type of symbol logo, they take the business seriously and they take the campaign more seriously. So as you're there at your presentation, if you want, you could put a table. You could have you could set... The world is your oyster. I started super simple. I honestly just showed up, had a couple pieces of cardboard, put that on the ground, had my little fold out poster that said Spider-Man, I had it in 3 and I folded it out, right? Stood it up, and then I put a bucket there, dude. And the bucket there was just for people to throw coins for any kind of busking. But if I wasn't doing busking and I was going corporate, I'd put the bucket away and I'd have a stack of papers with Spider-Man's photo on it. And whoever would walk by or kids ran up, I'd just autograph. And hey, you know what? Compose me, kiddo. Boom. I'm telling you, instant booking, instant charm. It's not everybody would book. Maybe you'd book once every 100 people realistically with kids and family members, but you'll book. And if you can't do it, then create a business that could do it. Create a campaign that could do it. Okay, so that's what I wanted to talk about today, is just work on stuff. Start thinking about the pranks. Start thinking about the publicity stunts. Okay, during that publicity stunt, this is the part where it could be fun and prankful. You could be Cinderella. You show up all pristine, perfect. Everything's looking great. And you get the microphone ready and everyone starts looking at you and you have the music playing and all this stuff. And you have such a great buildup for it. And then the second you open your voice, you sound like destruction. People would love that. That'd be funny as heck. And then you could laugh it off and be sorry, I didn't have my morning cup of tea. And then go into your funny thing and go into your campaign. You know what I mean? Just shock value is great. Shock value, but don't swing too far on the pendulum. If you do your prank too hard, you'll offend people. If you're too funny in a weird way, people might get creeped out. You guys stay in the middle of that swing, because then it's entertaining and then it's educational or informative. Cool? So that's my thing. Start thinking about building a business, document it on YouTube, and then think about the campaign, the publicity stunts, and the pranks, the fun pranks you'd like to do with your peoples. Subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know. I love you so much. YouTube, I love you so much. Everybody, I appreciate you, and their words can't even explain all the love and the appreciation I'm getting back. So, yeah, until next video, be good, be safe, and let's get it. 2025. Consistency, momentum, ad revenue, baby.